of the month. We are at November 1st. Come on, people, tap in and let's really talk about how to take advantage and do what is necessary to change our situation. Let me tell you what we're going to talk about today. We have a lot of single um, educators. We have a lot of educators who are in their, veteran years, 20 plus years in education. Their children are grown, tax time comes, and it doesn't work out for you. We have some new business owners and some current business owners who don't really understand business taxes. And so I wanted to come live and bring you all a tax expert who can help us to understand A, why every teacher needs a business, and B, how to take advantage of the tax codes. They are there for you and you need to take advantage of them. And C, like how to position yourself for success. We got to stop sitting back waiting on somebody to give us something. We have to figure out how to move in this economy to make sure that we come out on top. And we know that we always make a way and we always do just fine. Okay, so I want to introduce to you Camilla. She's with Wealth Creations Consultants, and she has worked with many small business owners. She specializes in small business tax, but we want to have just a conversation about business taxes, planning, strategy. And so if you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we will answer questions. But let me go ahead and introduce Camilla. Camilla, come on, tell the folks a little bit about
Well,
yourself.
hello. Well, hello, Dr. D. And as always, thank you so much for allowing me to come on and grace your platforms. I just absolutely love it. I love that we get to educate educators in this area. I just absolutely love that. Um, and so Wealth Creations Consulting is our parent company. We have divisions, WCC Tax Advisory, which is our tax piece. We started out, just in business, as business consulting, financial consulting, those kind of things. And being a business owner myself since 2005, going through trial and error, learning, growing, and things of that nature. Been in taxes for over 20 years. Started out doing my taxes, doing my church members' taxes, my family taxes, and then just really develop a passion to help people save money, help people understand the tax codes and things of that nature. And here we are 20 years later, and by the grace of God, we are still helping individuals. And we've added another division, which is tax planning now. And I hope we get to talk about even a little bit about the difference in just tax preparation and going into tax planning, a little more forecasting, a little more planning in advance and ahead. So we are super, super excited to be here. And any questions, make sure you put those questions down in the chat. We're here to answer those questions today.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about why teachers should start a business. So we have a lot of educators who are extremely gifted and talented. A lot of them are actually doing work outside of the school day, but they maybe they don't understand the benefits of having a business, and they may also be thinking, "Oh, I don't know how to run a business,
Mhm.
so I can't start a business."
Absolutely, absolutely, Dr. D. You are 100% correct. So in tax planning, the first thing, if a client comes to me and they, pretty much in any condition, but definitely if they're single and they don't have dependents and things of that nature, and they don't have a business, but they've been doing something for 10, 20 years, like enough about this thing that you can start a business with it. And so the first thing I'm going to tell them, this is for free. Like I tell everybody, start a business. Start a business. Maybe there's something, if you're in education, consulting is just like a no-brainer, right? To go into consulting or whatever that thing is for you in education. But definitely that is the number one thing we tell clients to do is start a business. Why? Okay, so you don't have dependents. Tax time is not favorable for you. Your business is now your new dependent. That's your new baby. That's what I like to tell my clients. This is your new baby. We talk about birthing a business, having a business. That's a baby because it has to be nurtured. You have to grow it. You have to feed it, have to invest in it. You have to do a lot. It's like rearing a child, right? And so this is your new dependent. As a W-2 wage earner, we have maybe, I'm going to just throw, it's not a lot, but I'm going to just throw a number out there. Let's say we have 10 good viable deductions, strategies, tax strategies that we could use. But when you become a business owner, that 10, let's say, goes to 1,000. Now you just stepped in a door. The tax code was not written for W-2 wage earners. It was not made for 1040, 1040 individuals, right? It was made for business owners. The tax code, the ones who created the tax code, all have businesses. All have businesses. So these things were meant to help them, right? And thus meant to help other business owners. So you go from everything, everything you pay for now personally, you get zero tax deductions for it. Like everything that you're already doing. But the moment you start your business, instantly and immediately, most of those things now become a tax deduction. It's a write-off, right? You become a living, walking write-off. And depending on the nature of your business, you can structure so many things. The IRS cannot tell you what is a write-off for your business because nobody knows your business. You just have to be able to stand on that and enforce why you did what for your particular business. So that is the number one reason why everybody should have a business, right? Especially you have something you're already passionate about, you're doing, you love it, because you go from here to here with tax strategies, deductions, and now the tax time and things of that nature is favorable for you. Things will turn immediately because those same personal deductions, those same personal things you're already spending money on now become write-offs. So that is, if nothing else, that's the number one reason to start a business, and start it now. Start it now, because now you start in 2025. Now you can go and retro the things that you've been doing this year, right? And moving forward, we got one more month. This month, you got about 60 days or so left in this year. And so everything you do and what you've been doing, you can now convert that into your business. So it's better now than later, for sure.
And so one of the ideas that is often, I feel like it's missed by the some of the educators, is that they think that they're going to get in trouble because they don't want to be outside of the rules. But two, one of the ways that I was able to really understand it is it's just moving of money. The same money that you were going to spend, you're still spending it. Like, it's not extra money. And so can you talk about that concept a little bit?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I like to say competence breeds confidence, right? So when you get competent, you get educated. That's why I think education is the number one platform for us. We really take that time to educate. And people often say, wow, you broke that down. I never really heard it that way. You really broke it down with the part of being afraid and not wanting to get in trouble and things of that nature. Education is key, as you all definitely know. Education is key, informing, having that knowledge and understanding. We go through that with our clients. This is why you got this return, because there's times when people got returns and they was like scared to even spend the return, because it's like, really? Like, this is my money, I can spend it. So let me break it down to you and show you why and educate you why you got this. Um, but to speak on the money you already spent it, like you already have a cell phone, right? You have a cell phone, you paying that $200 bill already. 100% of it you're paying, and you get zero tax deductions for that. The moment you become a business and you say, okay, I'm either one, I'm going to use this same phone I have and use it, whatever percentage for business. It could be 50%, 70%, whatever the amount of time you're using for business. Or you can say, I'm going to get a completely separate phone just for business, right? And now that separate phone, 100% of it is a tax write-off. But even if you say keep that same phone and you say 50% of it for now is going to be for business, 50% is for personal, then now 50% of that phone, that bill that you've been paying the whole time, has now become a tax write-off. You spent no additional money. That's that same $200 that you were going to spend anyway. But now $100 of it is now a tax deduction. Your internet, same thing. You have computers, things that you may buy specifically, software, even software, professional fee, anything like you get any coaching or consulting or anything you might get just for schooling. That's called professional services, right? That's a tax write-off, when you become a business owner now, because that helps you in your business. It helps you to potentially get income. So anything in the pursuit of income, the IRS said, is a tax write-off. You name it, the list can go on. That same car you have, the car insurance, the car payment, the car taxes, the maintenance on the car, you name it. That same car, you pay that note every month. But the minute you become a business owner, start moving in that car as a business owner, now a percentage of that same vehicle has now become a tax write-off. So the same exact things that you're doing right now, the same money that you're spending, you become a whole tax write-off, everything about your life. And oh my goodness, we're going to talk about if you have grandchildren or children, grandchildren, anything that can help you in the business or anything like that. Definitely, that's a whole nother thing that you can open up to pay them to save taxes as well, to help you around the office or do whatever. And that can be a write-off as well. So exactly what you're doing now becomes a tax write-off. So that's huge, huge.
And so it almost sounds like you can make each of your dollars work twice for you.
Mhm.
Because once you were already going to use it, just like my sons, I was already paying their school lunch, buying them school clothes, and giving them spending money. And then I just attached it to a job. I was like, okay, so in order for you to get this money, continue to get it, you need to start doing XYZ, helping me with my videos, taking pictures, and this is going to be your job every time we go to any nice places and stuff. And then I put
Absolutely.
them on payroll instead of just giving them the money in their
Correct.
hand or transferring it to their bank account. So it's almost like the dollars are working twice for us.
Yes. Great way to put it. Yes, and absolutely. Did we hear our now President Trump said years ago that he do not pay any income taxes? We all heard that. And we know Trump make money, right? We know this man make money. He makes money, but what he have multiple businesses, foundations. Oh my goodness, he trusts. He's got stuff set up in such a way. We hear about the Jeff Bezos. We hear about all of these individuals who making billions of dollars in revenue. And why are we making 100,000 and got to be robbed of all of our revenue, all the money what we can keep in our pockets? Why? They know something. They know something. They're the one creating these laws. They know something.
And
And we just got to get educated. That's all.
But that's a really great point that you make, because if we can get real, if we can get real, y'all know a lot of us good earners, middle class, early six figures, we
Mhm.
believe it's a flex to be able to say, I don't get a tax return. I pay taxes, because if we're paying taxes, that means that we're making more money than the average person. And so for
Mhm.
many years in the Black community, I'll say
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
we've
Right.
believed that that is a flex. Let's
Mm.
talk about that, because I know that
Oh.
you've heard it too.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is not the flex. Now the part, if you don't pay tax, if you don't get a refund, okay, you might be borderline right there. That might be okay, because that means you don't owe the IRS don't owe you. But the part about in the reverse, owing taxes, that is never a flex. Owing taxes is never a flex, because that means there was some poor tax planning, there was some poor tax management, you know, in our, especially as business owner. If you own a business and you have um as a business owner, you should never be really paying. Now, there's instances where you may have to pay some taxes. You're not going to be able all the time right down to zero. Most cases you can, but I won't say all the time. But we can never flex on having to pay taxes, right? If you are owing taxes, whether you have a business or you don't, you need to seek further on some tax planning, because some tax preparers, some tax professionals, they know what they know. That's it. Some would tell you, this is, I heard Dr. D's testimony. Her tax person was like, you go somewhere else, because that's not in my wheelhouse, being honest, but you need to seek further tax help, because there's always something you can do to bring down that that tax bill. So that is absolutely never a flex. Look for additional help if you owe taxes after your tax professional gives you something. Get a second opinion.
And Ebony, we will definitely drop the link for you all to book a call with Camilla. And Ebony said, she said, we have been taught that. So y'all see, I'm not making that up. It doesn't matter what state you live in. I
Mm-mm.
travel all over the US, and I have heard this said in many, many places. And
Mhm.
in my mind, when they say that, I think to myself, oh, so the rich people shouldn't pay taxes, but you should?
You should.
Absolutely not.
That doesn't make sense. And another thing I hear in my walk is that it's just a part of doing business.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. It's just a part of doing business. Like, we're supposed to pay taxes. Yes, but that is a part of doing business. And yes, we ought to pay taxes. But how much are we supposed to pay?
Mm.
It becomes, how much are you supposed to pay? Are you paying you're not supposed to pay not a dime more than what you're supposed to pay, you know? So you're quite welcome, Rita.
Look at
Not a dime more. We just take it at face value. We get a 10,000, 20,000 tax bill, like, oh, well, it's a part of doing business. And they stop right there. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
so is it, I'm trying to get the words right. Um, one is tax avoidance and one is tax
Evasion,
evasion.
evasion. That is correct. That is good. That is good, Dr. D. Yes. So great points there. Tax avoidance is you just like, I'm not paying my taxes. I'm not paying those taxes, whatever. And you trying to do things to get around that. I'm just not working. It's not, absolutely not. So that's just them, you hear of these superstars who get in trouble with their taxes, they're trying to avoid it. No, that's illegal. You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. You have to confront it. You can't avoid it. We hear that in anything you avoid is not going to go away. It's just going to get bigger, right? So that's what happened with tax avoidance. Don't do that. You want to deal with it head on. You want to get with someone who's knowledgeable in that area, specifically tax planning, right? Because it's not much a tax preparer can do once the year is gone. Like we're in November of 2025. Like tax planning is almost after October, like it's not even much more unless you already got some things in place and we're just kind of, but somebody coming straight and want to start tax planning October, like we would have to go back and do some things. But once you get to January, there's nothing else we can do to add to January this year to December, right? What you've done is what you've done. So we can only take where you are right now, and then we can do our best to do deductions. But strategy, and to strategize and plan, you need to be working with someone in that same year, working with them in that year, telling them about your changes. I'm about to have a baby. I'm about to get married. I'm about to get divorced. I'm about to start this business. I'm about to take some money out my retirement. I'm about to get a lump sum. I'm about to make some changes. My business, I'm expected this much more. I expected 100,000 more than I made last year. All those things we can put into place in that year and say, okay, this is the best scenario for you. Put these things in place, and it's going to lower your tax bill to X, Y, Z. And so that's tax planning. That's when you're planning in advance and you're hitting that thing head on. You're not avoiding it. You're not trying to get around it, but you're definitely being proactive, as I heard Dr. D talk about. We have to be proactive with these situations.
Yes. And folks, put in the chat and in the comments, what are some of the biggest myths that you've heard about taxes, personal or small business? Tell us some of those myths that you've heard, because I know that me, as I was growing up, and y'all know I'm not 25 anymore, but that's okay. The goal is to get old, okay?
All
And
right now.
my mom them used to tell us, don't you mess with Uncle Sam's money. Now you
Mm-hmm.
get them taxes done, and don't you, it was like a fear that was
Fear.
instilled in us. And it took a long time for me to shake that.
Mm. That's good. That's good. And I think I shared the last time I spoke with one of my clients, and it took 2 years for his wife was on board. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure she came through your program, and she was on board from day one. But it took her husband some time, and um, and so it took her husband some time, and so 2 years to be exact. And we finally got to it because I'm like, it's something. I know that they need the help. He sent me all the documents. I'm like, they really could use the help. They could be paying less in taxes. And so we talked and got to the bottom of it when he was 19, and now they're probably well in their 50s or so now. But his father told him, don't play with the same thing you're saying now. Don't get in trouble. His dad got in some trouble with the IRS when he was young, and his dad instilled that in him. Stay away from the IRS. Don't do nothing. Just kind of stay in this box. File your taxes. Be compliant. Don't, what if they say you owe, pay it. Whatever. And that's the box they were in. But those quarterly payments were coming around every time, and it was hitting them. It was hitting them hard. And he was like, we got to get some help. So I said, education is going to be key for you. So I overeducated. I went in, and finally they became a client and saved a whole lot of money. But that fear is just, again, about being educated. Being competent is going to bring that confidence. And so that's what we just have to get with somebody knowledgeable that can educate you to bring down those fears and express that. If you're dealing with that, when you tell that to your tax professional, let them know, I just don't, I had this that's going on, and let them walk you through and educate you to help you feel more comfortable with it, because it's just that, a myth. That's a myth, I tell everybody, IRS are human beings just like us. They put their pants on the same way we put them on. It's not about them. It's about knowing the code. It's about knowing the code, being educated, and that's where your confidence is going to come from. And I also have to share this lady. Once her confidence got up, I mean, she comes up with she be telling me stuff, and I be like, well, give me 24 hours to think about this to see how it fit in and how it makes sense for your business, you know. But now that she got that confidence and she got that competence, she just really it opens up your mind. It opens your mind, and she began to just come up with creative things. I was like, oh, that's good. Yeah, that's good. You can implement that in your business, you know. Once that fear go, you let your guards down and you really start to think creatively in your business, all bets are off. And now you know you have that confidence. Should there become an audit or something, the same thing you're telling me, you're ready to tell that to an IRS auditor. So that's what's going to help with that. That's get out of that box. We're going to educate you and show you if the rich can do it, we can do it too.
All right. And I see you got several clients in this chat.
Hey,
You
Miss
got Letitia in
Letitia.
here too. You have Faria in
Yes.
here. And Letitia, I don't know if you see my outfit I got on. Does it look familiar to you, Letitia? Look at there. This is a gift that Letitia got me at the
Ooh.
Iman Live Atlanta. I think it was 2023. It may have been 2024. But
Okay.
that's the jogging suit that I'm wearing, my Jesus Girl jogging suit. So
It
thank
looks
you. And
fly.
I will definitely check my oh, she said check my DMs. Okay, I'm gonna check my DMs. I haven't checked my DMs. Okay, so Ebony said some of the myths that she's heard is you don't
Mm-hmm.
play around with Uncle Sam. You will always have to pay taxes. Be
Mm-hmm.
careful and don't make too much.
Yes.
Ooh,
It's a good
because
point.
you will have to. Oh, that is a good one,
That's a
Ebony.
great point.
She said
Yes.
this is what she's heard repeatedly, and then fear creeps in, like I can't make too much. And Ebony, I was
Hit it.
guilty of that one.
You hit it on
You
the
know,
head.
it's okay to make good money, but once you get too far in, it's automatic that you're gonna have to pay a lot of
Yes.
taxes. Come
Yes.
on, Camilla, tell us
She
about it.
she oh, Ebony girl, yes, you are hitting it right there. I've actually had clients to say like I don't want to make too much money. Well, they wasn't clients at the time. They were leads when I talked to them, and they would tell me, I don't want to make too much money, because I'm gonna have to pay taxes on that. And as we're talking and they become a client, well, should I stop? Should I not accept this? You never reject a contract or reject money with the fear of having to pay taxes on that. I tell my clients, make as much money as you possibly can and let us worry about the back end, the taxes, and how to decrease you absolutely never have that fear to the point to where I don't want to make XYZ amount of money because I know automatically I'm gonna have to pay taxes. No, I want to say right there, the devil is a liar. Make your money. Make your money. Never, 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 never allow that type of fear. Because when you get in that mindset, you literally can stop money. You can repel money from coming to you. So you got to get out of that mindset of I don't want to have to pay taxes on this. I don't want to make too much money. No, let your tax professional you make as much as possibly can, and let your tax professional deal with the back end and work on the back end and work with you throughout the year in planning. There's always a plan. You know how much stuff that, oh my goodness, that you can do. I don't care if you're making $1 million a year. And to me, the more you make, the easier it is to lower your tax bill. Actually, it's actually easier to lower it. Isn't that something? That's actually been the truth. What I've seen is actually easier to lower your tax bill the more you make. So always, always, always make your money.
Okay, y'all hear that? So that's a good myth to bust.
That
Folks
is.
in the chat, go ahead and put any additional myths that you have heard, any mindset challenges that you have while you have a tax expert on the line.
Really good.
We are currently live on Facebook and YouTube. So hop over to YouTube. We prefer you over on YouTube. But put your myths in the chat. Let us know what are some of the myths and the mindset challenges that you have had to work through. So my next question is around the idea of, I hear a lot of women who have amazing talents and gifts. They will try to start a nonprofit
Okay.
because they are afraid to open a for-profit business.
Mhm.
And what do you say about that?
And it depends on your mission and your goal in your business. Of course, for profit, if you in it to make money, to make a profit, when it comes to just on the business side of things, then you definitely want to go for profit. And it depends on like why some people come to me and they just don't have an understanding of why they should, go this way or that way, should do profit versus non-profit. And so I think that education is needed as well, because when you ask them and you talk with them and consult with them, what you really were trying to do should be a for-profit, right? In most cases, it should be a for-profit business. Um, so definitely it takes that consultant to know what are you trying to do? What's the reasons for why do you think you need to do for-profit over nonprofit, or nonprofit over for-profit? But in most cases, um, it's going to be a for profit. You should be doing a for profit business. Start with your for profit, right? Start with your profile for profit, and then let that build up and let that fund your nonprofit. Because in nonprofit, it's just that you may get little to no profit. It's not, you're not going in it for profit. That's not the purpose of it, right? There's other purposes around nonprofits. Um, but in most cases, you want to let your for profit, you want your income. And guess what? That's another write off. If you start your for profit, that's building up, you're making money. Anything you contribute to that nonprofit, you start your nonprofit, now that's a write off for your business. Start your for profit, start something that's going to generate revenue, something that's going to help there, and let that fund like your passions and your, the projects that you want to do for nonprofits. So that's always in a consultation. I'm like, so what are you trying to do? Why do why are you going nonprofit? Because people come to me and they'll say, I want to start an S corp, and my first question is like, why? Because I want to know what why. Um, just because somebody told me I need to. And that's the only information that they have as to why they should start S corp versus LLC. And so I always start with, why do you want to start a nonprofit? What are your goals? What are, things of that nature? But let your for profit make the money, and then use that to help build up your nonprofit. Also.
And you know what I find, and it's almost a little bit of a tug of war. Like it will be the fear that they're thinking, I want to help people.
Mm-hmm.
I want to help kids to have, kids who've been in trauma. So I want to start a nonprofit to do this, and that. Or I want to help mothers who've been so and so and so and so.
Mm-hmm.
And like once I have a conversation with them,
Mm-hmm.
they're thinking that other people are going to pay for the business because it's a nonprofit, and they think that that's the easier route to go because, oh, my
Oh,
business will qualify for a grant, and it's like
grants and things
you
that of that
gotta
nature.
you gotta win the grant, and most nonprofits start and don't make any money and close
Mm-hmm.
down within 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting, that level of fear, and it's almost
Mm.
a lack of belief in self that
Yes,
I can do
yes,
this and people will pay me for it.
yes, yes. That's a fear. So they think it's the easy way and the easy route, but still, yet that's working nonprofits. Like you said, you have to you have to qualify and win those grants. You have to do the research and things of that nature. There's grants out there for for-profit businesses. There's grants out there. Um, things of that nature also, maybe not as prevalent as nonprofit, but there's Amazon, Walmart, like they send them to my email all the time. I said, I guess I might, at some point go and, sign up for these things because they're out there for-profit businesses as well. There's money out there. So you're still going to work. You're still going to work. You still got to sort of research these grants, qualify, either get a grant writer or you write these grants, whatever. But it's still work. It's still work. And like you said, it boils down to and go back to, do you believe in you? It all goes back to belief. It all goes because people fail in nonprofits. So I mean, that goes to show you right there. It's still something you have to do. You still have to believe in any and everything that we do.
Ebony makes a good point. She said, I think the nonprofit comes from our belief of we should not want to make money because of what others will think of us having a business. That's a mindset thing, which is a whole different conversation. And I will say, Ebony, you got a point because I hear people talk about they don't want to be greedy and how people who make a lot of money, they're just greedy and you don't need that much money. And yeah, good point, Ebony.
And I hear that a lot in religion.
Yes.
I hear that in religion a lot. And I don't know where everybody is from, but down in the South, in the South, and you hear, definitely in the South and things of that nature. So it's coming out of like a belief system, emotions, we're in our emotions and our feelings and a belief system that we should be giving. But you have to understand, even in for profit, like you're still giving. You're still giving of you. Giving. Let me say, we have nonprofits and we have for profits, and I give in both capacities. I give in both capacities. And that's why I said earlier, do your for profit. Let that, passions, because these are like passion, what they call sometimes passion projects, right? Things that passion about, but it's going to take money, and the grants are always not going to be there. And one thing too I know about grants, years ago going to grant writing classes, is they want to see how much money you've put into this business first. So you put nothing in this business and you trying to go out and get a grant. They want to see what your capital is, what's your stake in this game as well. So you got to put some hands in it, some money in it, and all those different things too to really make that work. But that is a very good point. That is a belief, and again, I hear that a lot in church and religion. Don't believe like everything should be nonprofit, everything should be giving. And I had a problem with that when we started business. Just giving all this information for free, giving. And there's a name for that. I can't think of it now, but I've heard it in one of the coaching programs I've been in. But it's a name for that, and we have to separate from those beliefs. We have to separate from that.
And one of the last questions I'll ask, unless the folks in the comments or the chat have additional questions, you better get them in the chat because we're about to wrap this up. But she's more than happy to answer questions. I want to ask a question for the established business owners. And this is for the people who have a business, maybe they're consultants, and they're making money. Now, you may not be making, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, but you're making money. You're able to pay your bills. You're able to take care of yourself, and you're doing pretty good for yourself. Can we talk for a minute about the Section 179? Because I found that folks don't always understand how that's beneficial to them. And I just this comes up because I talked to one of my folks, and she went and she bought her dream vehicle.
All right.
And she said it was perfect timing. Tax laws are changing,
Mm-hmm.
and she was saying something about this new law where if you're the first owner um, of a 2024 2025, you get some tax write off or something.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, what she said was she never understood why she would go out and spend money
Okay.
for a tax deduction,
Mm-hmm.
and she couldn't wrap her mind around it until she did it.
Did she did it?
And so she's in tax planning season now because she makes about 150, $175,000 a year.
Okay.
And now she understands,
Oh
because
yes.
according to her projected taxes,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to do just fine. And so she was having a problem understanding, like, but I'm paying a car note every month. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still paying for a vehicle every month. So can you kind of walk them
Okay.
through that?
Yes, yes, yes. So it's about long term. It's about long term thinking as well. Um, so it comes down to, am I going to take 20, 30,000 or whatever and give it to the IRS? Or am I going to find a way? That's all we're doing. We'll do a projection of what you may owe, for the tax year. That may look like 20, 30,000 or whatever the case may be, some much higher. So, so the question become, are you good with that? Do you just want to write a check to the IRS for 20, $30,000? So the answer is unequivocally always no.
No.
And so, no. And so, okay, so this is what tax planning is. So we're going to take that and we're going to find ways to allocate that in different ways. Use different strategies to bring that 30,000 on down, break it on down. So when we do the Section 179 deduction, what that is saying, when you go and buy a vehicle, and a lot of people, they were already thinking about buying a vehicle already, and things of that nature. But maybe they was just thinking about buying a car. It was already in their plans to buy a car. But we say, hey, why not go up to an SUV? Because here are the requirements for this. We know you're going to owe $30,000, but if you utilize this deduction, right, you're going to be able to get that whole vehicle written off in the first year. So that $30,000 become obsolete because most cases you're going to pay more than 30,000 or whatever for that vehicle or whatever the case may be. So whatever the price of that vehicle, if you use it 100% for business, 100% of it is a tax deduction. Now, so in that 1 year, you already know what your tax bill going to be. That helps you in that year because you're going to take all your deduction that year, okay, versus getting it over 5 or 7 years, because you get the option to do 5 or 7 years, or you can take it all in that first year. And for somebody who got a massive bill, most cases we take it all in that first year. So yes, after that, yes, you do have a car payment, but guess what? That car payment, again, if your vehicle is 100% business use, that car payment is 100% tax deductible. It's tax deductible. It's a business expense. Our business pay for our vehicle, pays the payments, and you're making the money. You're going to continue making the money. You're making the money, the business paying for the vehicle, right? And so then you get to write it off against your business. So then it's still helping you. That's the mindset you have to think in terms of. One lady was just like, typically I only have to use like 5 or 6 strategies to bring somebody down to zero, close to zero. And I had the 179 on the list for her, and she was just like, we just absolutely cannot afford. We just not cannot afford. And when someone is adamant about it, and after you explain, how this is, and I'll say, well, let's look at other ways. It's more than just 179. Let's look at some other ways. So we looked at some other deductions to do that. But that 179, especially, is going to benefit you in so many ways. Like you in your dream car, like that's even going to help you and boost in your confidence, boosting your, everything you're doing. You're in your dream car, you're feeling good, you're looking good, you riding in your, people seeing you in this car, and they're like, well, what's she doing in her business? Her business must be really doing good, and people want to be a part of something that they think is doing good. So this vehicle can help in so many ways, getting this new vehicle. And this is something you always wanted. So most people do, but then you didn't have the clients that say, well, we just can't afford a car payment right now. And that's different. And so we look for other ways to help you do that. But that will bring down that tax bill like nobody business.
And again, we're talking about experienced, profitable
Profitable.
businesses. These
Yes.
are folks who are bringing in monthly income, and
Yes.
they're able to pay the car
Yes.
note.
Your
It's
business
not
gonna
doing you
pay
any
it.
good if you can't pay the vehicle note, because they're
Right.
going to come back and get the vehicle. But if you're already paying a vehicle note, you
Yep.
already have a car note, a truck note, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it,
Mhm.
and you are at that point, you're owing taxes. This might be a strategy for you. You're already paying the bill
Yes.
anyway.
Already paying it.
That's why it's making your money work twice for you.
There you go.
Okay, and Letitia says she took 179 last year with insurance and repairs. Okay,
Mhm.
all right.
Yep.
So,
Well,
I'm sorry. Go
anything
ahead.
pertaining to that vehicle, you're getting a deduction for it.
So y'all hear that? Okay. So
Mhm.
these are great ways. And I think that the last thing, since we have no questions, how important is record keeping in this process?
That's the first thing I start off with any presentation. Like if I'm just doing a presentation, because you can forget about everything we just talked about with deductions and credits and stuff. If you're not organizing your business and you're not structured in a way that you're tracking your income, you're tracking your expenses, like this is documentation. In real estate, they say location, location, location. Well, in taxes and tax planning is documentation, documentation, documentation. You have to be able to document and put your hands on things, in the event that there is an audit, right? And you have to be very organized. You have to, you can't be writing down things on a piece of paper, writing your expenses and income. I heard that too. I just write it down on paper as I'm going. No, 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 no. You're not going to be able, you're not going to be able to keep up with that like that. I don't care if it's minimum a spreadsheet, something like that, where you're keeping up with things. Some people are a little meticulous. Takes a lot of time. It's time consuming. Wouldn't advise it, but at least you're doing something. But at minimum, get a low subscription with QuickBooks, Wave, or whatever kind of software, and get organized. Get those things automated. Get it going. No matter where you are in your business, start now. Because when you have that mindset, that's one thing I think with us, we always was ahead of what we thought we could afford, or what we thought we, could do at that time, or even should do at that time. Start, automating things, start getting that accounting software in place, connect and link your bank accounts with that. So every time you spend, it's capturing your transactions. You can print out a profit and loss statement for your business. So being organized, having record keeping in place, it is everything, because this is why a lot of people don't take a lot of deductions, because they know they're not organized. They know they have not tracked these things. They won't take mileage, when, my goodness, we all come short with mileage. But when you start tracking that mileage, when you start putting things in place, you're confident now. I got a whole printout now. I know where I went. I know I made this many miles this year, and it's almost 70 cents a mile now that you're getting deductions
Ooh.
for. So that is huge. Even the IRS says, like, they know people missing out on deductions from mileage, because they're just not keeping up with it. They're not tracking it. They're not organized. So get organized. Get organized. It is everything. You will feel so much confident in taking these deductions when you've been tracking it. It takes a while to get in the rhythm, get in the flow, and really do it. And I heard Dr. D talk about some systems she had, and staying organized, and keeping your expenses and your income, keeping track of all those things. So definitely it is everything. Like you're not going to be able to even take these deductions if you're not organized.
And they make it super easy for us now because there are so many apps and
So
things
many.
that are available that connect to your bank account that will alert you if something you just press buttons. And
Yes.
I absolutely love it. Oh, I would be remiss if I did not talk about this. One of my favorite reasons for having a business that I didn't know was gonna be travel. Oh my goodness. I don't think these folks understand the benefits of I didn't understand. Like,
Hmm.
just give us something on it.
Oh my goodness. Yes, but travel, just like with everything else we do, it gets really fun when you're able to turn like something personal, like even personal travel, turn like personal travel into a business deduction. You know, it typically have a little rhyme and reason to go to it. But if you're staying over a weekend, somewhere, you go that Thursday to the next Thursday, whatever, there's a weekend in there. So in that weekend, you could be doing something for your business. You can create something in that weekend, put something there for your business to where now that whole trip has become a tax write-off. So you were doing something on the weekend for your business, and the other days that you had to stay there, you know, it just your family had to be there, right? This is how it's written out, in examples on the IRS website. And your family had to be there from that Thursday to Thursday. But on that weekend is where your event was, or if your event was on a Tuesday or Wednesday, you had to be there for that weekend. And so now you can now take that whole 7 days and turn that into a whole business um, type of deduction. But with your just business travel, it's 100% write off. Oh my goodness. And we travel, we've been in St. Louis, we've been in Puerto Rico, we've been in Mexico, we've been in Atlanta, we've been this place, and it's 100% write off. And we still get to enjoy ourselves, we still get to take part of all those things. And it's you get pretty much you getting paid to travel. You're getting paid to travel. And it's something that's going to now you can go places. And I love when Dr. D do this, take that time where when we in Puerto Rico, we in Mexico, take these pictures. You got this time, take the pictures of these sceneries, do some content, while you there. Oh my goodness, and all those things. And now you have a beautiful scene, people seeing, your lifestyle, your business, and what your business is doing. It just all pays for itself. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing. It's beautiful.
Okay, y'all, it's real. And for all y'all who have not, or you if you ain't scheduled to be in Florida October 20th and the 21st, I don't know what you October, December 20th and 21st. I don't know what you're waiting on. It's a deduction, folks, and it's a way to say yes to things you would normally say no to. And I'm telling
Mhm.
you, I have gotten most of my family to start a business. As a matter of fact, I think my
Yes,
sister talked to you the other day.
indeed.
I've gotten most of them to start a business because it allows us to travel, and they have business
Hmm.
aspirations anyway, but it
Hmm.
was just that fear in taking the step,
Taking the
filling
step.
out the paperwork. And
Mhm.
then it was that fear around, well, I don't know how to run a business and I got to file taxes and I don't know how to do that. And I'm
So
like, there
much.
are
Yeah.
people who can help you with that. Stop counting yourself out. So I absolutely love that. Okay, so this has been amazing. And I hope this has been helpful for you all who are
It's
listening and
been
those who will catch this in the replay. But Camilla, go ahead. And first of all, they need to know how to contact you. And
okay.
when you get a second, come back and add your link in the chat as well. But let them know how they can work with you.
Okay. Let me see if I can see what it's. Oh, the chat. Okay, I haven't seen the chat down here this whole time. Okay, so to work with us, you can schedule a complimentary appointment where we'll assess your situation and see what's the best route to go for you and how to get you started and get you going from there. You can check out our website. We're at wcctaxadvisory.com. And I'm going to see if I can put this. Let's see if I can. How do I add my comment in here? I see private chat, but how do
If
I
you put it in
add?
private, I'll
Oh,
pull
you'll
it
get it.
over
Okay.
into,
All right.
yeah.
I can put it in there. All right. And we'll do
And
7.
what I'm gonna say to every educator, I think that every educator needs to have a business. If you're an educator, we already know what them taxes do to us. And we already know that we can sell our expertise. Somebody wanting you to tutor their kid, somebody wanting you to
Yes.
do a training, somebody wanting you to come and speak at their thing. We have to stop working for free, people. We got to stop being impressed that they asked us to come and share our knowledge. You already
Mm-hmm.
know that you're knowledgeable. You already know that you have expertise and talent. And let me just be clear, nobody needs to appoint you an expert. You've been doing something for 10, 15 years. If you're not an expert, I don't know what would make you an expert. Like, there is no expert appointing genie who's going to come and say, you are now an expert.
Hmm.
No, if you've
Right.
been doing the same, wouldn't you say that you're an expert at walking? You've been doing it all your life. You're an expert at that. You know how to walk. You know how to do it. You know how to do it with your eyes closed. You know what that's like. You're an expert at what it is that you do. And nobody's going to come. You don't need 26 degrees. You don't need 18 certificates. You don't need to be in school for the rest of your life. That is crazy. Stop steady taking courses, going to school, getting degrees, and thinking that that's going to create the level of expertise that you're looking for, because it's not. You already have everything that you need right now.
Right.
What you need is a business. That's
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 it.
what you need. So, Camilla, give us our closing words. Piece of advice. Did she just? I think her thing just went out. That was not me who did that.
No, it was
Oh, that's
not.
you.
It was not. I
Okay,
had to
okay.
close. I had to close my door. My daughter
I
was coming
thought it
up
was
here.
me at first. I was like, I didn't touch anything.
Yes, yes. So you see in the chat, our link, our calendar link, to schedule your free 30-minute consultation. And then also we're on IG, at WCC Tax Advisory LLC. Out there. So you can contact us there as well. All right. So last words I would just say, start your business. Start your business. Start your business. Set up your consultation. First and foremost, set your consultation up, because we can help you across the board. Okay, we can help you across the board. If you hadn't started that business yet, all those things, we can put it all into perspective for you. Answer additional questions that you saw, you had after you watched this. Set your appointment. Start that business. Get your business started now, right? It's not too late. Go ahead and get your business started. That's something you have off your plate in 2026. You'll start 2026, on the ground running. I mean, you'll start running in 2026. We're going to walk with you, helping you set up those accounting systems, set up those QuickBooks, get stuff established, set up, and things of that nature, giving you education, giving you spreadsheets, giving you lists of deductions and credits, giving you categories of things that you need to be looking out for. Because sometimes you just don't know what is a write-off, what is ain't a write-off, what can I use as a write-off. So we give you that list of things as well to start thinking about your communication, your advertising, anything you spending money on, your software, we spending money on different things. So start your business, set up your appointment, and we look forward to hearing from you, helping you, walking with you, and helping you grow in your business.
All right, folks. So you heard it here. Let's get them started and get the expertise that you need, and that will build your confidence. So I hope this has been helpful for you all. You have the contact information in the chat. Share this with anybody who might be able to benefit from it. And let's go out here and stop begging for a seat at the table and create our own. I hope you all have a great rest of your
Thank
day,
you.
and we'll see
Thank you
you next
again.
time. Happy
Thank you.
November.
Happy November, guys. Have a blessed one.